I got a question for you guys.
Yes, sir.
Do you think Lincoln dreaded putting Caleb in that game? Do you think he didn't want to put Caleb in? He wanted to leave Spencer in there.
He wanted to lose. Think about it. The year before,
I thought
I
thought the same thing. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to
Yeah.
you. I thought the same. It will give him an easy excuse and an easy way out.
Yep.
Facts.
Yeah. They threw the Bedlam game for damn sure. They ran the same play about 2 times in a row.
I'm yelling at the TV of that game, like, why are you running this BS stuff? You didn't run. You probably ran 30% of your playbook in that game.
Shut up, little dumbass.
So do I, Shelby. So do I.
Hey. All right, man. I can get out of here and go into these stores, man.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate you coming in. Good talk.
All right.
Talk to you later.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right. Welcome to the show, Bishop Frank.
What's good?
How you doing?
Big salute. Man. I've been liking the show, man.
Thank you, man.
Some new fire. But yeah, hey, it's just ridiculous. Then he was doing the moonwalk on his conversation when people were asking him tough questions.
Just it's excuse after excuse, and it's the thing is he's contradicting himself on the crap excuses he was given on his way out of Norman. You know, talking all that stupid stuff about how the resources and their, you know, everything that they do at USC and what it is, it's that beacon, that mecca of freaking college football out there in Southern California, was going to allow them to recruit the kind of players that you have to win national championships. It's all crap, because now he's saying they're way behind on all that shit, throwing USC under the bus. I don't think that they're going to put up with that crap much out there after this.
But just think about it. All he was doing is trying to save his fan base and get them back on his side. His whole thing was he was trying to spin the whole narrative on the NIL.
Right.
And if you look at it, he did. It wasn't the right thing to do. You own up to it if you miss it, and you keep building.
Right. No, I agree. I think that's yeah, it's wild. Man, I forgot to ask what's up, Coach Ricks?
What's going on, fellas? How you doing?
Good, man. Welcome into the show, man. Sorry to hear about your pops.
Oh, man. Thank you, man.
What do you think about all this stuff we're talking about in here today?
Man, I think we need to get off Lincoln. I mean, I think he's old news, but I love seeing him fail. I just think the way he left, man, just was a coward way of leaving. If you're going to leave, just leave.
Mm-hmm.
Just be a man about it.
Being a coward. I mean, now he's still blaming everything on everybody but himself, which is why I feel like he never will be the coach that he's never going to be the coach that everybody thinks he is or thought he was when he left Oklahoma.
Man, everybody thought he was the next big thing. I mean, you know, Bob and everybody had that faith in him. But now, man, it just seems like that kettle, man, it was steaming hot. Now it's simmering. And I don't think he can get a coaching job nowhere.
I mean, well, it's yeah, I mean, it's like Coach I was saying. I mean, there's got to be some jobs that would maybe take him because of that. He's always going to have a quarterback. But you're saying he left the same way anyone leaves. He left it. No, he didn't leave the same way anyone leaves. Look, there were guys recruiting for USC during the season. They had made up their mind by the Iowa State game. This is recruits' parents were talking about this. Recruits were talking about this. This happened. Roy Manning. And then they fired him, but they made him fire him last year, which was kind of surprising. Yeah, it was we've got Coach Ricks in here right now along with Bishop Frank. So Yeah, let's see. We are University in California, City of Los Angeles. Yeah, that was so bad. It was really so bad. At USC said they'd been searching for a coach for 2 months, but Riley was their guy the whole time. Yeah, he was. That was. You can't even lie about it at this point if you're USC, because bottom line is, we heard from recruits what was going on with Roy Manning. He was recruiting for USC long before they left. Again, I would tell you that it's a blessing that he's gone, but the shine is wearing off of Lincoln Riley. There's no two ways around it. The shine is wearing off the guy.
Oh yeah, he's not the same old Lincoln Riley that he was when he was at Oklahoma.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he definitely what Lincoln was doing, you could tell he was off. They were, I mean, even with Caleb Williams and the team that they had there, because they had talent. I mean, they came in even with Spencer coming in that season, you expected them to go and make another run at the playoffs and maybe have a shot. And then once Spencer played bad and then Caleb got in, then it was like, whoa. When they lost the Baylor game, that was the first, but they never looked like they were that. They never looked like they were comfortable ever. They never kind of got it rolling. They were good, but they weren't near what they should have been. When they lost to Baylor, I mean, Dave Aranda exposed him that day. Exposed that dude. Straight up.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah.
Hey, Bishop. I got a question for you guys. Do you think Lincoln dreaded putting Caleb in that game? Do you think he didn't want to put Caleb in? He wanted to leave Spencer in there?
He wanted to lose. Think about it. The year before,
I thought the same thing. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I thought the same. It will give him an easy excuse and an easy way out.
Yep.
Facts.
Yeah. They threw the Bedlam game for damn sure. They ran the same play about 2 times in a row.
I'm yelling at the TV of that game, like, why are you running this BS stuff? You didn't run. You probably ran 30% of your playbook in that game.
Hey, he ran the same play
3 times in a row.
No, 10 times in a row, and all 10 times Caleb was running for his damn life in Bedlam. And think about it, Spencer, he jerked his ass out immediately the year before in the Red River. Remember? Because he got in there and I forget, he had a turnover for sure, but you could tell he was freaking out. And so they pulled him out of there and put Chandler in. And he settled down and came back in, and then he was fine. But he waited till it was freaking 28-7 before he put Caleb in. Yeah, he was trying to lose.
An average coach, if you're down 10 and you know you have another experienced quarterback behind your starter, you give him a shot. You give him a shot.
Hell yes.
Because you never know. You never know.
And again, just look at the difference in the 2 years. You know what I mean? Why would you wait so long against your biggest rival? Why would you wait? When Spencer was, I mean, the dude was in a panic out there. Throwing interceptions, fumbling. Yeah. Throwing shit bits out on the field. It was not good.
Well, here's the bad part. He did it the previous year. So what made you think he wasn't going to do it this year? And when he did it this year, you had a 5-star recruit behind him that I'm pretty sure you know what he could do in practice.
Right.
You put him out there. And the one play when he ran 65-yard touchdown
already. Fans had been screaming for Caleb Williams for weeks already. They just barely won that Tulane game 40-38, remember?
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be in New Orleans.
I know.
And it ended up being in Norman because of the hurricane, and they literally won 2 games that year, and they almost won a third one in Norman of all places.
Hey, I had tickets to that ball game, man, and it got canceled, so I couldn't go. I guarantee you, if that game was in Tulane, I think Oklahoma would have lost that game.
Oh, there's no doubt they would have lost that game.
And everybody would have went crazy.
Caleb in this Superman stuff at Kansas, they would have lost there too. When he pulled the ball back out of Eric Gray's chest.
Jason, I was at that game. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in the stands going crazy because we're witnessing something that you got all this talent and you're letting Kansas. And I mean, Kansas just manhandled.
If they don't get that first down there, if he doesn't pull that ball back out of his stomach, and how he did it, I still struggle with that one. But if he doesn't do that and go get that first down right there, they lose because they run the clock out.
Oh, yeah. But I think Lincoln saw the writing on the wall, and I think he had to get out then, because if he'd have came back the following year, he wouldn't have had no job nowhere else.
Yeah,
that 6 and 7 would have been on Lincoln Riley versus being
that season was coming whether it was BV there or Lincoln there.
Man, look,
no two ways around it.
I love BV, man, and like I said, I think Oklahoma is in a damn better position than they were then.
Oh God,
I would, and I guarantee you can ask any OU fan, and they'll be honest with you. If you had Lincoln Riley going into the SEC this year,
death.
Would there be? Well, for one thing, those guys that came back wouldn't have came back.
Facts.
They would have left. Lincoln would have got exposed big time in the SEC because he's already scared of the possibility of his offense don't work in the SEC.
Yeah, Benji says, wait, 6 and 7 with Caleb. Come on. I didn't say necessarily with Caleb Williams, but hey, they went 7 and 5 with him at USC last year.
I'll say it for you, Jason. They can get mad at me. They went 6 and 7.
Yeah, listen. If Caleb Williams hangs around and stays with BV and them, they might have won the Natty last year because it would have been wide open.
Oh,
it would have been wide open.
Those 5 games they lose by 1 possession. He's proven that he can make 1 possession by himself.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, maybe they don't go 6 and 7 then that year. Look, there was times though that I felt like a lot of it was just they didn't know what they were doing on defense, and a lot of that had to do. You trying to reteach the difference in what Grinch does and what they do now, and not to mention the strength and conditioning and all that stuff. That's a lot of it as well. But the sophistication of the defense is a lot. And for, Stutzman and those guys, the guys that are still there, it took all of them time to understand it. And it was tough. It was tough, But on top of that, they had 0 depth.
I think Sooner in Texas made a damn good point.
If you were having a private conversation with Caleb Williams, he would admit he made a mistake following TBOW to USC. He would have been better off staying. He definitely would have been better off staying in Oklahoma. And I'll tell you another thing, Sooner in Texas. This is a great statement. I think that maybe he would. I don't know, though. He went and won a Heisman Trophy, and he went number 1 overall. So I wouldn't say that it was terrible for Caleb, And look, he went to OU and to USC to work with Lincoln Riley. But I'll tell you this. Think about what you've heard from Baker Mayfield in the last couple of years. He loves Lincoln. But he even says he's made it hard on himself. He's made it hard on himself.
I just think if he would have stayed at Oklahoma, there was no doubt that they would have at least went to the playoffs.
Oh, for sure. And I will say this. I think Caleb Williams would have gotten better in ways like last year was not a good year for him. It wasn't good. It felt like he regressed a little bit. You can tell he doesn't read defenses very well. And that hero ball stuff, that's a bad habit to get into. And he's entrenched in it at this point that he thinks he can go win the game by himself. Look, I think he's great. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen in college. But I'm going to tell you this. You can't get away with that shit that he was doing playing that hero ball in the NFL. All those guys are NFL guys.
Can you imagine a 275-pound linebacker that runs a 4.45?
4.45. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You won't outrun him.
There and see how long that lasts.
And fellas, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and fellas, just think about it. His whole premise is that because he was the Heisman Trophy winner, he took it all on his shoulders as if he could manufacture wins, and that's not how you win at this college game. So his whole thing about pressing, and then you got a defense that he had to cover for. Yeah, it was no winning over there.
Well, and on top of that, I mean, I've told you guys this before too. Hell, Lincoln didn't make it easy on him either. I look, how do you not get him some simple throws, slants? Hey, off that third step in your drop, the ball comes out. Caleb, get it out. Run some easy routes for him to hit. Get him in rhythm. He never did that. It seemed like. On top of that, you've got Lattimore. Probably the best running back in the country. It was either him or Brooks.
Facts.
And dude he averaged 8 yards a carry and he got 10 carries a game. It's unfreaking fathomable to me why you would do that. And this is Lincoln Riley we're talking about. It's like he was obsessed with trying to get him a second Heisman. And
that was pride.
I just don't understand it. Yeah,
well, that's when Caleb got to step up if he's the leader of the team and tell him it don't have to go through me.
Yeah,
it don't. I mean, you've already proven. I mean, what were we saying? We were saying he was #1 pick before he even played one game. We already knew he was #1 pick. So you ain't got to go out there and prove this.
No doubt. Oh yeah, he was clearly. Clearly the best player in college football the last 2 years.
There was no, well, so-and-so is better than Caleb Williams. We knew from day one who was going #1.
Hey, listen, had he started his freshman year from game one on, he might have won the Heisman as a freshman.
He would have been probably the first freshman to do it.
Mm-hmm. True freshman. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He could have, because look at what he did. The dude it got better every week. Well, I don't know that you could really, what he did in that Texas game, though. Think about that. They go into that you assume they would have won the same games, right? But think about that. That's another thing too that we were saying. When you start, no way that Lincoln did that. Think about this. He didn't want to commit to Caleb Williams the week after Red River.
No, he didn't.
What the fuck? It was like, bro, they will freaking burn your house down if you put Spencer Rattler back in the fucking game.
Did you see what happened when they brought him in for the 2-point conversion?
Yeah.
They were booing him.
Oh, yeah. They hated. Listen, and that's one thing. I think that Oklahoma fans were pretty rough on Spencer. But I also know that Spencer kind of earned a lot of that shit. He's been an asshole since he was a kid. If anybody that's watched the guy on the Netflix show, I know I was watching it before he got to OU. I was like, why the hell are we recruiting this kid? Why? I never seen the leadership in him. I think he improved it a little bit the last few years at South Carolina. He had some good games. He's definitely got arm talent, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't.
Hey, Jason.
I don't get you. Go ahead.
I'm 45 minutes away from Columbia, South Carolina, and we go down for some of the clinics, coaches talks, and things like that. And I can say, and they can say what they want to say. He's an arrogant little shit.
Yeah,
he knows when he
hasn't really changed.
When he went there, he was going there off what he did at Oklahoma. If I'm a teammate, you got to come in there and prove it here. You're not just going off tape from where you came from.
Well, shit. Beamer didn't have anybody else, though.
I mean, I get that, but you know, when he came here, man, we see him all the time out here on the golf course and everything, and everybody think he's the greatest kid, but you know, they don't know the Spencer Rattler from Oklahoma.
Nope. And there's stories, you see them all the time about he would. Well, they said when the first day he walked into the locker room as a freshman, he was telling Kyler Murray how he was going to take his job.
I heard about that.
The fuck?
The winningest quarterback in high school history. You gonna tell him that,
bro? Yeah, the dude lost in 5 years as a starting quarterback in Texas 6A. He lost one football game. Like, bro, shut up. You know what I mean? Like, what's the matter with you?
Yeah.
He beat both of them, actually.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
He beat both of them, Clemson and Tennessee that year.
Those were his best games.
They were. And look, there's no doubt that he's got as much arm talent as anybody in the NFL right now. But it's not just about that kind of stuff. Plus, he's a statue. I don't think it's going to work out very well. I know they seem to love him in New Orleans, but I don't think it's going to work out that well.
He's going to have to get him.
Not a leader, man. Bishop Frank,
get around some of that veteran NFL players.
They're not going to put up with that shit.
They're, man, look.
He's going to have to earn it. Yeah, he's going to have to earn it. And he knows that this is a totally different league. And the NFL is not for long if you don't take care of your business and you don't study.
Yeah. Benji just got timed out for that little smart ass comment. Don't be even ever saying anything about CW going to Texas.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, man, you better
he
get
had to get a timeout for that, man. That's a minute out. You got to stay out for that.
Trying to throw strays in the gumbo. Man, you better get them
up in here, man. I don't care if you remember or not. Ain't no way that works. Yeah, you said attended K-State OU the COVID season game, and I thought he was going to play like Kyler would. Man, was I wrong? Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, and we saw what he did in the Cotton Bowl against Florida. He was great, but it just was few and far between those games with Spencer. You know, I'll tell you this. One thing that you could always, this is why you knew something was wrong with Lincoln, though, that last year, is that, man, we saw it with Jalen Hurts. Because Jalen's he's not that ultra, accurate guy. He's not. And first off, that's not his game either. But Lincoln, you realize how often he put him and protected him from himself that year that he was at OU. They had that comeback against Baylor, and he was terrible that whole first half. And missing wide open CeeDee Lamb, Theo was wide open a lot that game. It was awful. And then what did he do? He just made it easy, let him roll out and hit short passes. It's the same thing that they do with him when they're successful at Philadelphia, is what Lincoln was doing. But you weren't seeing that kind of stuff with Spencer. And even, like I said, that damn Bedlam game, he ran the same play at least 6, 7, 8 times at the end of that game. And every time, Caleb was running for his damn life. He didn't want to win the game because he knew he doesn't get to take the USC job then.
Well, think about it, Jason. The whole thing about it is the defense didn't have to change their defense. They knew what was coming. By the second time you run it, it's like,
absolutely. It was the same, but they didn't even try to disguise it, Bishop Frank. It looked the same motion every time. Every time.
Hey, Jason,
they still almost scored and won. Shit. He was that guy, man. Caleb was that guy.
Yeah, that was a glitch.
Is there any truth to the rumor that's out there that Bill Beambo and him got into it during the Bedlam game?
You know what? I hadn't really heard that. It wouldn't surprise me though.
Well, like I said,
I'm surprised that freaking guys like well, any of these coaches that were with him at that time that are still there, it wouldn't surprise me if anyone would have kicked his ass after that game.
Well, it was just something that something that was said. My brother-in-law was talking about this conference and everything, and everybody loves Bill Bingbo. I think everybody is still. Everybody's trying to call OU so they can get speaking to him and things like that. And I think my brother-in-law had brought it up is that the funny thing is that a rumor was surfacing that Bill Bingbo and Lincoln used to always get into it because Lincoln wanted to run one thing, Bill wanted to run one thing, and it was just
run the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because when they ran the ball against Oklahoma State, they were very effective.
Mm-hmm.
But then they started passing the ball, and then that's when Caleb started running for his life.
Yep. So, well, you think about that last play, even in the Red River game. If you think about that, now he broke it for a touchdown, but think about that for a second. Why do you run a draw there with like 10 seconds left?
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? Most times you should be probably throwing in that. Now, don't get me wrong. Nobody really questions it because he scored. Yeah. But he scored as the clock was expiring. You do realize this, right? Yeah. That they were going to go to overtime if not. But
most coaches are trying to position the ball in the middle of the field.
He was not trying. Yes. And they didn't have any timeouts left. Yeah. That was if you go back and if you think about that for a second, he didn't want to win that game. I think he figured if he wanted to go to, if they got it to overtime, maybe they blow it.
Damn, Jason, you onto something. You onto something.
And I've paid attention to that shit a lot. And you think about everything, and I may be wrong about some of it, but I'm just saying there's certain signs that we saw that.
You saw the difference between last year. Even though he's no longer here, the play calling last year, they were going for the win. They wasn't going for to kick the field goal and then let's just go up by 2. Yeah. They were going for the win.
It was so dumb a lot of times. That Colorado game, they should have lost that, and they were ahead by 17 in the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden you don't run the ball the entire last 3 minutes of the third and the entire fourth quarter. They didn't run the ball one damn time against the worst defense in the Pac-12.
Jason, what's Lincoln Riley memo? Get up by 21 and then let the team come back, and then we'll try to figure it out how to do it.
Yeah, he did it against Tulane in the Cotton Bowl.
He did it 3 times.
Did it against Utah. Yeah, hey. Once Utah got, when Cam Rising got hit like that, got his helmet knocked off.
Wow.
It woke his ass up. And next thing you know, they were beating the crap out of Caleb Williams.
Yeah. But that's the first time that someone
Coach Witt is that dude, though, too, man. Coach Whittingham, those teams are nasty.
He's like BV. He is one of those coaches that you're going to have to beat me. I'm not going to give it to you. We're very disciplined. We're very sound. You're going to have to beat me. But they were very physical with USC as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's how you beat them. Just go rough them up. They're soft. I've been saying it, man. They were soft at the end of the first year there. They weren't as soft as they got by the next year. Right? They still had some of those guys left over from Helton. So it hadn't fully taken. And then the thing is Caleb's not soft. He's a dog. He's a dog. But man, Lincoln soft.
What was it? The P90X machine is what they had?
Yeah. Oh, Benny Wiley. Old Benny Tybo Wiley.
I never understood that, man. I never understood that. We're not trying to tone the players. We're trying to build mass.
Yeah.
I never understood that.
They're ripped up, though, man. These kids, have you seen some of the photos of these guys on Twitter and stuff?
Facts. They built by fire.
Crap. Yeah, look, Reggie Powers and dude, Billy, they're chiseled up. They just look nasty. It's night and day different than what it was like when Lincoln was here. Yes, there's bad blood. We hate the dude. Believe that. It's not because we wish he was still coaching at Oklahoma. Believe that.
The bad blood is more internal.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all had job offers and we've all left jobs and didn't want to leave, but there's a way you do it. I'm an old-fashioned guy. I'm a man about my crap. If I'm going to leave, I can look in your face and tell you I'm leaving because it's better for me and my family.
Benji, are you serious? You just out here saying any old thing today. On the real, we wouldn't have wanted Caleb. We'll continue taking lumps than welcome a player from the enemy of the team. Shut up, dude.
Is Benji a Texas fan?
Yes, you lying through your teeth, bro. Now you're just lying.
wasn't they the main one talking about we want Caleb before the ball game, and then you got Caleb?
Huh?
Wasn't they the one talking about we want Caleb before the ball game, and then Caleb got in the ball game, and they got Caleb?
Yeah.
I mean, be careful what you wish for.
Y'all would have freaking I'll tell you this. I think Sark is smart enough that he would have taken him in a heartbeat. A heartbeat. And you do realize that Lincoln was tampering with Xavier Worthy every year that he was at Texas.
They almost had
twice. They almost had his ass.
They've almost had him. Mm-hmm. And from what I'm hearing is they ran out of scholarships. That's the reason why they couldn't get him. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know but they almost had him.
Mm-hmm. We pressured Sark to drop Stoops higher immediately. What? What Stoops higher? Yeah, they would have loved that. In fact, that's the other thing. You would have loved that just for the trolling purposes. Y'all would have loved it. Stop acting brand new or acting like I'm brand new. Come on. They would have been acting the fool, Jimmy Lee, no doubt. What? Explain that? Oh, Mike. Yeah. Did he? What? No way. I know he's there coaching with Mark now, but that's wild. I didn't know that. Man, hold on a minute. And Bevo's bodyguard saying that a 5-7 Texas. You realize that 5-7 Texas team had the lead in 6 straight games that year and lost it at the halftime lead. 6 straight games. Don't start with me on this, bro.
They had the lead at halftime on every one of those games.
Every one of them until the K-State game at the end of the year that they somehow found a way to win. They just kind of had K-State's number for whatever reason. They couldn't beat Kansas, but they beat K-State. Y'all were losing to West Virginia and shit. Eek, it was bad. I didn't realize that was the fact. I didn't. Okay. I do remember that part. So I
thought that he was at.
I guess I didn't hear all that.
I thought he was at a Florida school as a defensive coordinator.
Who? Mike? He'll never get another coordinator job.
All right, fellas. Here's a question for you.
Sure.
Let's say USC goes 7-5. You think they fire Lincoln?
Yep.
Yeah,
I think 7-5 gets him gone. He's out.
How much is that? How much is that buyout?
I think all of it, but
all of it.
I think it's.
So we got another. So we got a Jimbo 2.0.
Yeah. I mean, they have that kind of money though. It's like I said, out of the schools that have the most billionaires out of the top 10, I think they're number 9 in the country. The only ones that are in front of them are all Ivy League schools. They've got more money than Notre Dame, and Notre Dame has a shit ton of money.
I never believed that we don't have money scenario from any college team that's a Power 5. I just don't, because the alumni, and where you live. And plus, being in California, trust me, you have money.
They bought him that house on the beach and like paid off 2 other houses, the houses that he had in Oklahoma and another one. They bought houses for him. I mean, multiple houses, plus gave him $110 million. You mean to tell me that they're not paying NIL money if that's not the problem?
Yeah.
Now there may be an issue with what they're doing with it or how they're whoever's running that collective or whatever. But that doesn't even seem right to me. Listen, I'm not somebody to like. I believe what USCJ tells me because I know that he knows. He grew up 5 minutes from USC. He knows what his grandmother worked at USC. So I know he knows what he's talking about, and he knows guys that are there that know some stuff. But I don't think that they're telling everybody the story no matter what. I think that some of the stuff is just what do they call it? Disinformation, you know? And it's something ain't right there because you don't pay a guy that kind of money and then not support him. I'll tell you what I think's going on. I think Jen Cohen knows that he's not the guy. She didn't hire him. She doesn't give a shit. And she's a USC alum, by the way. She's a hell of an athletic director. I think she's Matt Ince is the next head coach there. He's already there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
She already got him there in the house to, you know, whatever happens. If they don't win probably 9 or 10 games, he's gone.
Man, I just don't think
that's my belief. I don't know that I mean, this is not, I'm not hearing anything or anything like that. I'm just telling you, at USC, they've been waiting long enough and they're not going to keep waiting.